Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Everyday is Friday. I'm your host, Matty B43. Today, we got a super incredible guest joining us, someone who's doing amazing things in their field. Please welcome Zaner.
How we doing, guys? How we doing? Big podcast today. Big one.
Welcome to the
Matt,
welcome to the show.
thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate being back. It's been a minute.
For our listeners who may not be familiar with your line of work yet, could you give us a quick rundown of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so right now hey, Zane. Good to meet you. I'm a carpenter. Been doing it for about 5 years off and on now. Now I do it full time. I have my own business and working every day. Hard to achieve a goal. What that goal is yet, I don't know. But I'm
Big
with Matty
thing is-
B43 and every day is Friday.
Every day is Friday. And the big
Every day.
question is, why? Why Trump? Why do you support Trump when so many people say he doesn't always tell the truth?
Yeah, I mean, I think, why do I support Trump? I'll tell you this right now. And this is what I ask my siblings, my brother, my sister. I ask them, hey, why would you go against your mother and father, right? And they believe in Donald J. Trump with their whole heart. Everything they have, they're pouring into it. They're donating, right? They're getting the word out. They're spreading the word. And yet my siblings, right, different era, 16 years older than me. One's 8 years older, one's 16 years older. But I ask them, okay, why can't you at least see mom and dad's perspective on this? You know what I mean? The people who put you through private high school, private colleges, a lot of money on the line, right? Why can't you see it in their perspective, right? Instead of just butting heads all the time, butting heads. And the biggest thing they say is, well, I don't like how he talks to people and I don't like, him as a person. Okay, it's one thing. Okay, yeah, maybe you're not the best guy in the world, but nobody in history has ever got shot, got back up again, looked at everybody, wasn't worried about his life at that point, knowing he got grazed by a bullet, looks around the crowd in Pennsylvania, right, and says, fight, fight, fight. How do you look at that scenario and say, no, that guy's evil, he's the next Hitler? You know what I mean?
That's a great takeaway. Definitely something to think a lot about. I mean, how do you view Trump's approach to foreign relations, especially with countries like China, North Korea, and Russia?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was, and this is where so many people, especially our age, 18 to 30, really. I mean, even my sister's age, she's almost 34. She's an old woman now. If she sees this or not, I don't know, but it is what it is, right? Let's play ball a little bit here. Okay, 18 to 30, let's just call it there. A lot of people are so busy with day-to-day life, their job. If you got a dog, you got to feed your dog. You got kids, you got to take care of your kids. I get it, why people don't know this information. But, okay, foreign relations was the question. So we look at, people aren't looking at the history. That's what I'm trying to say. I got so much on my mind about this because I've been down the rabbit hole, out, back in again, served 3 tours while doing it. You know what I'm saying? Back in the foreign relations, Trump was a dominator, right? Like very few presidents before him were. It's the business intellect, right? So, me and you, right? Me and Matt lived very close to each other when Trump was first in office, right? We seen a mobile marathon gas station for 99 cents a gallon. Okay. Now, people, right, that aren't into politics, no problem, no issue with that, but they don't understand why that price is, right? They just think, oh, we have a new president, or whatever they think. I don't know. I can't be in their head, right? There's a lot of contributing factors, right? One, we shut off oil imports, meaning we are no longer bringing oil into the U.S. to use for the manufacturing of gasoline, right? We're not making gasoline through imports, okay? What Trump did, he said, drill, baby, drill, okay? What does that do? Keystone Pipeline, boom, oil. So now we We got more oil than we know what to do with, right? Including other tariffs on China, right? Okay. Everything's really low. All the prices are back down to, I mean, I didn't grow up in my parents' age, right? The 70s, 80s. I'm not going to go to say historical lows. Probably a decade low, couple decade, for grocery price wise, energy price wise, couple decades historical low, I would say, in a fair estimate. I don't have the stats on me right now, right? Okay. Now what happens, right? Joe Biden gets into presidency, and we'll go in on how Joe Biden got there. Trust me, we will, because it's a crack. Fast forward to Joe Biden, okay? All of a sudden, what does he do? Shuts down the Keystone Pipeline. Canada's paying us to take their rotting oil. They have so much oil that they can't give it away fast enough. They said, take our oil. That's why we set up the Keystone. We're pumping, I mean, barrel after barrel after barrel after barrel. Unbelievable amounts of oil here. What does Joe Biden do? Shuts it all down, right? No, why would we do that? Why would we do that? Why? We had historical low gas prices, not seen since the 60s, on the ticker, okay? All of a sudden, Trump goes, you guys don't know what he just did, do you? California's gas is going to be $8. Michigan, your gas is going to be $4. You got, I mean, think about hard times. We've been in a recession since Joe Biden got in. All prices have gone up. Interest rates have gone up. They don't know what the hell they're doing, right? So foreign relations comparatively, Trump and Joe Biden and all this stuff, right? We don't have to put a label on it, but Joe Biden gets all these offshore shell accounts, money from China, right? So we shut down our own oil, right? We start importing the oil from other countries around the world, making the U.S. deficit. It's everything bubble, Matthew. It's everything bubble. So
That's a very good point.
When we're talking, just to close this one out, when we're talking about foreign relations, nobody does it better than Trump. Absolutely nobody, because he's already been, first of all, business all of his life, so he gets it. He knows, hey, you want to sell products in the U.S.? I'm going to tax the shit out of you, not my own people. And that's why our economy was so great under Trump, because instead of taxing your own citizens and bringing stuff in, he's taxing other countries to do business here, which is, I mean, obviously, incredibly better for everybody's pocket.
Don't you think that's a bad idea for our government being so close to China, North Korea, and Russia?
What's that called? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? It's an old time saying. You want to be close to your adversaries, right? It's not about being buddy buddy with them, but you want to be close, right? You want to see you want to take a peek in their, on their cheat sheet, their test, if you will, right? Their playbook. You kind of want to see what they got going on, you know. Trump did a lot of stuff that a lot of all these media news outlets are so tainted in one direction, guys. And put yourself as a neutral independent. You vote for neither one of them. You don't care, right? Lay it all out on the table here, okay? CNN corrupted, compromised. MSNBC corrupted, compromised. Right? I could go on and on and on. Everything that's freedom of speech gets censored. Everything Trump does is wrong. Everything Joe Biden or Kamala does is right. Right? I got a little off track. What was the main part again? Too close with the adversaries, foreign, to a point. We have to be close, right? Have to. It's the world we share, right? We do a lot of business with China, Russia, list goes on and on. China, we get everything from China, right? Everything. The shirt on my back, China, right? I'm sure that American flag, Jesus Christ, crown was made in China. My guitar, China. Golf clubs, China. Everything's China, right? A lot of business being done. Now, are you close with the business partner, Matthew?
It's one of those things that you have no other option but to use the products that are at hand.
Right. And so now, would you rather make most of the money in a business deal, or would you rather get taken advantage of by a business deal? Would you say
Well, the business deal is that China can make a lot more
cheaper?
cheaper pricing for the common
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
good.
Less restrictions
A lot of our
on
jobs
how
we're
they make
losing
things.
to Mexico recently
Mm-hmm.
and China. They're getting a lot of our jobs. I
Exactly.
overheard China's owning a lot of our land over here. They're flying balloons over our country. They're spying on us. But let's just change the subject here real quick. I mean, fake news. You brought it up a little bit. I mean, some people think the government spreads fake news to keep people scared. What do you think? Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely it is. It's called government propaganda, as a matter of fact. And it's a tactic used by a lot of governments around the world, right? To get their people, citizens, to believe in what narrative they want to portray, right? So, for example, we won't even go to the main news outlets, okay? You ever heard of The View?
Yes.
It's a show. Whoopi Goldberg, right? All this stuff, okay? That's a bad actor, okay? She gets paid, okay, to talk horribly, spread lies, rumor after rumor about Donald Trump, okay? That is government propaganda. You can look back at the footage, right? Back at the footage of Whoopi Goldberg and Trump interactions. She used to give Donald Trump kisses on the cheek and shake his hand. She had so much respect. All these people, all these news outlets that are controlled, the abortion thing, right? CNN does a whole hit piece on how Trump doesn't want, what's the word I'm thinking? Okay, so like rape, incest, right? They keep hammering the nail about how Trump won't allow women to get abortions for rape or incest. He goes on live national television in a debate with Kamala Harris and says, I'll absolutely allow that. He said, it's not even up to me, as a matter of fact. I gave abortion rights back to the states. Okay? First of all, a lot of people our age don't have any clue about America's history. Okay? The state legislative power was always set up for the sole purpose of being stronger than the federal government when the federal government got too much power. Okay? So Trump goes, hey, I'm going to push this back to the states, right? Federal government shouldn't be involved with abortion rights for women, right? Pretty good, clean answer, I think, right? Then Kamala says in a hit piece ad, broadcasted everywhere, every YouTube, Google ad. I mean, my goodness, he won't allow women that are the victims of rape and incest get abortions. That's government propaganda. That's the narrative that the liberal Democratic Party, the Republicans do it too in their own way. That's not what I'm getting at here. But my God, are the liberals coming for the jugular right now?
Well, on that note, I mean, do you think Hollywood is used by the powerful people to push like certain policies, ideas to on the public?
Let's get really loose here. Absolutely, they are. Absolutely, they are. I will say this: Hollywood is in a bit. They're in almost, you could call it a divorce right now with each other. You have some actors coming out saying there's a lot of weird shit happening, right? You got rituals, satanic, I don't even want to go into some of the stuff I know about. I don't have the evidence. It's not something you can just go on Google and fact check because Google's fucking compromised. My French. Google's compromised. Anyways, yeah, Hollywood. Diddy. Take Diddy, for example, right? Now he knows J-Lo, Eminem, right? He knows all these people, Jay-Z, all these big ticket guys. And all of a sudden, here there goes Diddy, 1,000 bottles of baby oil later. Okay? Okay, on that, there's that note, right? But okay, now you see that, right? So you see all these bad actions by Hollywood actors, these sick people, okay? All these allegations of, doing this and that, minors, human trafficking, sex trafficking, all this. So much garbage. It's hard to see the truth, right? What you can see is that particular side of Hollywood, for some reason, loves the liberal Democratic Party. So there's a couple things you got to just common sense things, right? The evil satanic Hollywood actors that throw baby oil all over each other, kind of like one party over the other, right? It's not the one supporting that guy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they usually hide the narrative. Even you brought it up, the baby oil. Like that's hiding the whole bigger picture that there is
My,
behind it.
oh my goodness. Like I said, it is hard to know the truth, right? And dude, it's what is really sad now that all these indictments that Trump's been in, right? Like all his court battles and whatnot, that just shows you how corrupted and compromised our whole judicial system is, right? Trump's got the best lawyers on the planet. And let me tell you something. You know how I know that? Because if he didn't, he'd be in jail and already have been, dealt with, if you get what I'm saying. You can only thank the Father above for Trump being here today in multiple different assassination attempts, okay? And it might, we got to really buckle in here, people, because this is not over by any means, even after the election. This is not over. We got a big hill to climb. Let's just say that.
No, it's a great takeaway. It's definitely something to think about. Let's just move on to like big tech. I mean, do some tech companies that the government work together to spy on the people, you think? Do you believe that?
I already know it. It's like, and these are the things that like we're talking back and forth. We know it, right? I shouldn't say that so concretely, guys. You ever been on Instagram? Okay, and you're talking about a TV show you like, or hunting, or fishing, or whatever it may be. Then all of a sudden, you see an ad pop up on your phone, right? For that specific thing you were talking about. Guys, the terms of service agreements that you've been signing for TikTok, right? To create an account, just agree to the terms of service. Do you guys ever read those 30-page long terms of service agreements? Do you know what they're doing to you? They're eating your data. They're selling it for profit, and they are getting you to buy the products they want you to buy. We are an mentally abused culture, era of America, if you will. Private enterprises, big tech, like Matthew said, it's never been worse. Okay, we had a guy back in the day called J.D. Rockefeller. Okay, created the education system. He was a huge oil entrepreneur, right? The gold rush, all this, whatever, oil rush. I forget. A lot of stuff going through this brain. J.D. Rockefeller creates the education system. Do you know why he created the education system? To control the minds of the people of America. Literally for that explicit reason. We're going to teach them everything about nothing. And so they will not want anything. They just want the comfort of their own home. They just want little comfy, cozy stuff. Onesies, right? He-Man pajamas. I don't know. But what I do know is big tech is doing play-by-play. Play-by-play. You're talking about listening into us. You're talking about rigging elections. Hello? Now, what do you want to say? What percentage would you say are Kamala Harris ads that you see over Trump ads against Kamala Harris?
I know she raised $1 billion for
Yeah, all of a sudden.
herself. That's amazing
All
in
of a
itself.
sudden. Mark, no. And so, and whoever tunes into this, I want you to understand, Mark Zuckerberg was just in court. I believe it was like a month and a half ago. And he said, yes, the Biden administration came to me and manipulated me into campaign altering, or whatever the, formal term of it was. Election meddling. Zuckerberg admitted to it. All these people, all these big players, right? Twitter. Why all of a sudden do you think Twitter went up for sale? Why do you think that? I mean, really, people, Twitter was one of the biggest platforms. You had Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That was the big three. That was big tech. All of a sudden, Twitter CEO says, I'm gone. Best thing that could have ever happened to conservative America, true Americans, was Elon buying Twitter. Let me tell you. It's the one saving grace of all this. But you see it. All these, first of all, they're like oligarchies at this point, which is basically like a ruling class family type deal. It's a kingdom. You got the kingdom of Google, Mark Zuckerberg, Meta, Facebook, Instagram now. You got, brother, okay? All these people, all these big tech, like we're saying, all these companies are starting to pull out slowly but surely because they know hell is coming. And let me tell you folks watching back at home, their days are numbered. The court, this will be handled in court, obviously, right? MAGA needs to remember to be totally nonviolent, peaceful in all of this, right? This is the only way we get through this. Otherwise, it gives them reasons to say, that's another crazy Trump supporter, right? Which there's already false flags in the making. And a false flag is basically a planned event that smears one side that could be totally catastrophic, right? So, I mean, let me stop. Let's chill out for a minute. You get a question in here because I will keep going on if you don't shut me up. You know
Well,
what
I
I
mean,
mean?
it's really that's I mean, it's a really good takeaway, definitely something to think about. I mean, controlling minds through media. I mean, do you think certain TV shows, movies, or like news networks are made to control what we think and believe?
Matthew, there are YouTube video compilations right now of about 300 different local news networks saying the same scripted thing, talking about, if you could edit this into the video, if you could find this clip, it's like, dangerous misinformation, and then like another one pops up and another one pops up. Talking about misinformation is a horrible thing and needs to be censored. What? Yeah, dude. Yeah. They're controlling us down to our local news networks. Okay? It's all an organization. You look at the tops, right? You really dig in, do your research. You got a couple big, and we're talking about bigger than Google. We're talking 10 times bigger than Google. We're talking about the people who own Google. Talking about BlackRock, Vanguard, and the Rothschilds. Okay? You look into that. Yeah, bro. Trump's our last hope, guys. If I could just give you one message, he is our last hope. Because if Trump doesn't get in, Kamala, it's not Kamala. Everybody's so focused on the faces of the parties. Trump, that's one thing. He's different. He's not he's a lifelong Democrat. Okay? Kennedy, ring a bell? Okay? One of the best Democratic presidents of all time. He could debate somebody for 3 hours, wipe the floor with them, and then turn him over to his side. What happened? John Kennedy, dead, shot, the back of the limousine, right? We all remember this? Trump, shot at, right? A second assassination attempt happens, right? All this stuff starts happening. Okay, Kamala is not the face of this. Okay? It's the people who own Google. BlackRock, Vanguard, Rothschild. They own like 80% of the total wealth in the world, guys. Right now, whoever watches, you're sitting comfortably in a bed while these guys are planning the next 80 years of your life and how to get you on pharmaceutical pills to keep you just sick enough, right? To make their money machine rotate. Are we getting this?
I mean,
Are we?
do you believe in the deep state is working with the media to control what people think though?
Absolutely. Look at take any example you want. You go on to YouTube, right? And what do you see? Right? You look up liberal getting angry, and you see these people dying on the hill. They don't even know what hill they're on. You ask them, what is one good policy? Normal people come up. Hey, you're voting for Kamala? What's one good policy that Kamala's done? These people have no clue what they're fighting for, right? They hear these really key things, and the Democrats do this really so well. The elite Democrats, they're psychotic, but they're also like evil geniuses, right? You got half of the country, okay, believing in something, right? Like, here's a cheeseburger. It ain't there. It's fake. It's a fugazi. See ya. But once they only need to hold this illusion for so long. They get these people so hyped up, dialed in on the wrong things that don't really, maybe 1% of the population is affected by abortion. 10%, maybe? That's a lot. That's a lot. It's a very low percentage, okay? Then you got transgender rights, right? They're making these seem like it's the end of the world, like everybody goes through this, when actually it's the most minute, smallest minority of the whole entire population, which is close to 400 million people in the US, guys. But we're worried about, I don't know, 500,000 to maybe a million, maybe 2 million people that have mental disorders, and then we put it on the ballot? What? Who are we kidding?
You were talking about policy. I mean, let's talk about some of the policies that are major in this country right now. I mean, like immigration. Do you agree with Trump's immigration policies when some people say it's unfair?
Yeah, Matthew, let me ask you a question really quick before I answer that. Who are the people saying that's unfair?
The news networks.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's all I need. So the liberal ones are saying it's unfair. Now, I know my father works hard every day of his life, works every day to get half of his money to the U.S. government. We are bringing in, and it's really, a lot of people think it's Mexicans coming across the border. It's not Mexicans. It's some. It's some. You're talking about Venezuelans, okay? You're talking about people from Haiti. You're talking about, Guatemala. These people, listen, we have an immigration process, right? Which before Joe Biden, trust me, was not great. But I think I seen some stats. So Trump had like 700,000 his first year in office, went up to 1 million second year, stayed around 1 million the third year, and then he brought it all the way down to like 500,000 people, 500,000 border crossings. We just let 20 plus million illegal people in here that, okay, if you come to this country the right way, right? So there's a due process, right? Trump had a order, a bill, whatever it was, that said in Mexico while we process you, right? Everything has to be, you have to assimilate to America. Okay? Always been like that. Always been like that. Doesn't matter what country you go through, right? Come here from, okay? You have to assimilate to American culture, right? So it used to be, had to learn the national anthem, had to know the amendments, right? There was like a couple of tests you had to go through. It wasn't like it was crazy hard. They don't do that anymore. They say, hey, come on in. Here's a debit card. Here's a brand new Apple iPhone, right? Give them about 10 grand plus a month. And this is not, guys, listen, fact check this. And do not go through liberal news sources. Go through either neutral or conservative news sources and find out who is giving these stats really. Because you'll look a liberal in the face and they'll say crime's down. Okay? No. Police precincts, they were told not to report crime statistics anymore in some of the most dangerous cities on the planet that happen to be located in America. Okay? Crime is, we got cats getting eaten and shit. Okay?
That's a valuable point. I'm sure a lot of listeners will resonate with that one. I mean, what's some of the core values or issues that you support Donald Trump?
100% getting our own energy going again, like it being energy independent is a giant one. It should be a no-brainer to everybody, but people just would rather care about somebody else's feelings, I guess. I don't know. They don't care about their own pockets anymore. They're just sheep. So it is what it is. Immigration for sure, obviously, right? We have natural born citizens. Their families have been here for generations getting killed by illegal immigrants that can't even speak one word of English, getting let out on less than $1,000 bail for being a double homicide suspect. Think about that. That is in a police video camera. Think about that. A body cam footage from a police officer in Aurora, Colorado, I'm pretty sure it was, These guys reported some illegals squatting in a room. The officer comes up and goes, well, we're a sanctuary city. And he's like, the guy's like, are you nuts? You're a sanctuary city. He goes, so you're not going to do anything to this guy who's been squatting and, stealing and all this other shit? And the cop goes, no. He's like, you'd be shocked. I just let out a double homicide suspect last week for less than $1,000. That's not the country I want to live in, and I don't think it's the country you want to live in, Matt.
Well, a lot of people feel divided right now. I mean, some people say that Republicans' ideas make people feel divided by like race and money. I mean, do you agree with that?
I agree with the country is divided. I don't agree with the fact that it's been caused by the Republicans, right? Because that means you're propagandized. The Democratic Party, what has Joe Biden ran on? What was Joe Biden's campaign? Trump's a racist, a bigot. He hates black people. He hates Spanish-speaking people. He hate. Trump hates this. Trump hates this, right? And so their side, right, the Democratic Party, gets pissed off saying, this guy's a racist. This guy's a bigot. Because they, lifelong Democrat, whatever, whoever it is, they see this like, oh my God. And then they see the doctored, edited clip of Trump going, that's my African American. Look at him. Totally out of context. What was Trump really saying about this guy? Oh, he's a good black man, very respectful gentleman. Listen. And then, so vice versa, Joe Biden, already disliked by Trump supporters, right? So he says this, gets his own viewership fired up, right? Saying, all those MAGA racist bigots, that's what the conservative party is a bunch of racists and bigots. I don't care what color you are. Every conservative will say this. We don't care. We want good character, good morals, good values. Were you raised properly, right? It's not about your skin color. It never was about the skin color, right? I went to high school. I had so many black friends. I got Larry Borum. My boy Larry Borum. He plays on the Chicago Bears O-line, okay? I love Trump. You could even call me his #1 fan, right? Fuck out of here with that. So anyways, so the conservatives now are getting pissed off at the lies being spotted because we know it's lies. That'll piss anybody off. If somebody just consistently lied on your name every day, just lie. At some point you want to stand up and sock that guy in the mouth, right? But no, now we got to be the peacekeepers all of a sudden. So it's kind of where we're at. Crock of bullshit. So now I'm getting juiced up. Now I'm getting fired up, Matt.
Well,
Let's go, baby.
If we're talking about rights and the LGBTQ community like you were talking about, I mean, like, how can Republicans support freedom when some don't support the LGBTQ rights?
Okay, and this might come as a shocker to you, right? America was founded on Christian values, beliefs, and principles, obeying the Heavenly Father, okay? One nation under God, okay? It's not, okay? So imagine now that you go into somebody else's home, right? Just in a hypothetical. You go into somebody else's home and they got a set of rules, right? It's on the door when you walk in. Hey, do this, boom, 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 no problems, right? Okay? Been like that for 3 generations. My grandpappy had the same rule set, right? Someone comes in, undresses, and starts whipping their tallywhacker around. Yeah, that was rule #1. Don't come in here and whip your tallywhacker around, right? Didn't say you couldn't go to your own home and do that. But it's not about rights. What rights do I have as a straight white guy that a gay person doesn't right now? Could you tell me that?
We all live among the land of the free.
Land of the free, right? But that's another thing. Liberal Democrats are, again, liberal Democrats are evil geniuses. You have to remember this. What do they say? Conservatives hate you. We hate the gays, right? We hate black people. We hate races. We want white nationality supremacy. They say all this shit, right? They don't want transgender rights. I went to an Outback Steakhouse the other day. It was about like mid-July. Not the other day, mid-July. I'm 6'6", okay? I got a pork belly fat old man walking to this Outback with eyeshadow on and fake tits, okay? With the wig on, with a blue-haired daughter or son I didn't look that close because I was getting fucking upset, dude. It's not. Listen, did I go over there and whoop this guy's ass like he may have or may have not deserved? No, I didn't. I left it alone. Let it be. I ate my steak in disgust. Yes. Do I agree with that? No. Does everybody have to agree? Absolutely not. We have political, civil discourse about things that make us frustrated and upset, and we come to a conclusion and a compromise, right? That's always been what America's been about. Some of the nastiest debaters of all time, Ben Frank, right? Tommy J, Thomas Jefferson. If you don't know the forefathers, right? They'll slap you people, right? Go do your homework. Some of these guys are the best debaters of all time. They would have, okay, you know how we have political debates aired on live national television, 40 minutes or whatever, maybe an hour if we get lucky? They used to debate for weeks, Matthew, in civil and political discourse, and they came to a compromise and made the country better. Now, do I agree with the LGBT community and how they, associate themselves with different things? No. Do I think all LGBTQ people are bad? No, I don't. They have all the same rights as me. And it's to that point where it's been so hyperinflated, this whole gay rights thing, trans rights thing, that actually has made me more pissed off at that community for how in the face that they want it to be for straight white man. Listen, I don't care what you do in your own time, your own deal. When I'm seeing, first of all, a pharmaceutical ad with two gay black men making out in the commercial while I'm trying to watch Sunday Night Football, somebody's fucking knocking on the wrong door, Matthew. I mean, it's just, listen, we just all need to calm down. It's a very tense time in the nation. Yeah, we're divided, right? And you keep putting that transgender flag. If the LGBTQ community continues on this track, absolutely, you're going to invite more hate, right? Does that mean everybody hates you? No, it doesn't. Why can't you just live in peace and harmony like everybody else does?
Definitely something to think about. I mean, you're talking about the
Food for
people that
thought.
built this country and how they built the Constitution. I mean, let's just twist a little bit here and let's talk about gun safety. With so many shootings, don't you think less gun control would be dangerous?
No, I do not. And here's why. Okay. Going back through the history book, so everybody sees a school shooter, right? Michigan, Oxford shooter. You had the Columbine. Everybody heard about Columbine. Had the one in Florida. And who are the first people running to gun control laws when all that stuff happens? Liberal Democrats. Liberal Democrats run right to it and say, this, and slam their first, this is why we need gun control. This is why we need. No, 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 no. Let's get the autopsy, right? Let's get the drug report here. What kind of the shooter was transgender. We've had a lot of transgender shooters. We've had a lot of mentally disturbed kids, sure, shooting places up, right? We got a kid, I think a kid just the other day in Tennessee who's on like 3 antidepressants, okay? But we have to go to the gun. Listen, the guns aren't the problem, right? And the only effect gun control will have on anybody is good, decent, law-abiding citizens that want protection for their family and their rights, okay? So now we have a political party wanting to fundamentally alter the United States Constitution that grants us certain rights and liberties as human beings in a free country. Now this whole thing, right, this whole shitty egg-shaped piece of dog poop, okay, sits on one thing, the Constitution, right? So if you frame it, right, so if you have a pharmaceutical industry that every time you go into the doctors and say, hey, doc, I've had trouble sleeping the past 10 days, right? And he doesn't ask you, well, have you had sugar before bed? Instead goes, here's an antidepressant. This will help you sleep, right? So instead of saying, hey, maybe we should kind of check out the pharmaceutical industry and, why all of a sudden autism rates are up, mental disorder rates are up, depression skyrocketing, suicide rates are up. Instead of checking in on that, right? And saying, hey, whoa, maybe we could make a change here. They want to take the gun rights away, Matthew. Okay? Kamala said that she wants to have mandatory gun buyback programs. Okay? People of Earth. This is Zane from outer space now. Okay? Because we're jumping off the deep end here. Okay? There's Mars, right? I'm in Elon's Mars bubble. Okay? What happens, right, when a government takes the weapons away from the citizens throughout history? Oh, dictatorships form. Oh, mass genocide happens. Oh, wake up! We gotta wake up.
Our constitutional rights are getting taken away. I mean, they don't really bring rights back or laws back. They actually write the laws and they don't really look at them again. It's one of those things you just got to keep moving forward no matter what they say, and you got to keep on fighting for your rights. It's your constitutional rights.
Absolutely.
Freedom of speech, your ability to have a gun. I mean, you got to go through the proper license, if you want to license
My
a
goodness.
gun or something like that, you got to go through the proper things.
Just became a connoisseur, right? Just started, and I never really wanted to get into guns, but look at the environment we're in here. I had to go through like 2 different background checks. You know what I mean? That's just try to buy a pistol. Look at how the gun laws already. But anti-gun people have never purchased a weapon in their life. They have no clue about the gun buying process because they've never done it. But they're the ones advocating that people shouldn't have them. First of all, you can't have a felony. You cannot be a violent offending criminal at all. Okay? You have to go through a background check process that can take up to 2 hours when purchasing a weapon that gets cleared by the FBI. Okay? So you're talking about those steps are already unconstitutional, by the way. Just so we're aware. Do I agree with background checks? Sure, yeah. I don't think a psychotic maniac should be able to walk into a Dunham's and buy AR-10 with 9,000 rounds. Yeah, sure. No, that is a bad idea. Good rules, right? You're going to start talking about ammo capacity, blah, 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 this and that. And then you got Joe Biden on record talking about you're going to need F-16s to take out the U.S. government. Talking to us. Talking to his own people that he governs. Talking about you're going to need an F-16 to take me out? Are you nuts? This is the most dangerous, most exciting, most on the edge of your seat, hair-raising moment that may ever be in American history, okay? Because people, and I'm not trying, this isn't fear-mongering. Fear-mongering's over. We tried to fear-monger you, okay? We tried to say, shake your bell a little bit and say, hey, wake up, the house is on fire. The house is on fire, right? And then nobody fucking woke up, right? You're just, you're sleeping on the job. And now we're in a shit stew, in a shit pot, with an unelected, first of all, we didn't even touch that. Kamala Harris was not elected to run for president, by the way, if anybody knew that. Joe Biden hung on just long enough after not being seen for 3 months and says, I think I'm going to drop out of the race, I'm unfit to run. When conservative Republicans were saying that for a year, okay, whatever. But then, just before he comes out and says this, he's like, I'm running again, I'm the healthiest I've ever been. Okay, what calculator does this shit add up at? Because I don't have it. I don't have this almighty calculator that turns shit stew into gourmet lasagna. Okay?
Well, why don't you think Kamala Harris is fit to be president?
Listen to one talk interview that Kamala does that is off the cuff, meaning not scripted, teleprompter. Okay? It's a word salad shit debacle. Okay? She doesn't have any good policies that benefit anybody in America. Maybe one. Listen, let me tell you something. Old brainiac Kamala Harris and Joe Biden came together with a brilliant idea. They were going to make 8 superchargers. Okay? Do you know how much it costed them? $10 billion to make 8 comparatively gas pumps that give electricity to a vehicle for $10 billion. 3 of them right now don't work. Do you understand? They are the biggest money wasting, right? Just POSs I've ever personally witnessed. You can say what you want about Trump. He had food on the table and money in our pocket. Okay? Kamala's done the absolute opposite. And we haven't even scratched the surface on her. You know what? How good Kamala. Here's why I don't want to vote Kamala. Unrealized capital gains tax, Matt. Tell me what you know about unrealized capital gains tax?
Basically, the longer you hold a asset as a stock or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
if you hold it over 365 days, they tax you at a less percentage. So she wants to take that away.
Right, right. Now, how much did your dad ballpark it for me? Buy your original house at when he purchased that house?
I couldn't even tell you, but maybe
Ballpark me.
that's
Ballpark me.
60 to 80, maybe to
There we go.
100,000. I'm not even
That's
sure.
fine. That's fine. 60 to 80, right? And now from that time, right, to now your house is worth a lot more than that, right? People, to sum this up, okay? When you purchase a house, there's something called equity that builds, right? Meaning the value of your property goes up in value or down in value depending on the economy surrounding you, okay? Now think about this. People, fucking wake up. Your house goes up in equity, right? So just like your parents, when they had you and bought their house, right? And then their house was worth 60K, and then all of a sudden, when you're a grown adult, 18 years later, it's worth like $400,000. That is called equity. Growth! Kamala's gonna take everything you own, okay? For your grandmother, say her unrealized capital gains from when she purchased a house. So say your grandma bought a house for $30,000, right? The unrealized capital gains tax would put her in the morgue. Do you people understand? Social credit score systems will get eaten alive. Okay? They're gonna have your face on a billboard walking down the street because you jaywalked and charge you $500 because of the mark of the beast tattoo they put on you. Do you understand? Excuse my friend. We're not fucking around anymore, guys. Okay? It's time to nut up or shut up.
Kamala Harris, she wants to put money back in the middle class, and she also wants to help women's rights with abortion. I mean, how do you feel with supporting someone who's been on the mainstream media with being a woman?
Kamala Harris being a woman? First of all, let me tell you something. Kamala Harris does not want the middle class to grow at all. She says that she's such a two-faced, phony baloney liberal that it makes my head spin, okay? You tell me in what kind of ways you think Kamala's going to put money back in her pocket. She has no policies. She just says, I want to put money back in your pocket. I'm going to give you a tax break. I'm going to give you a tax break. Is that the same thing when you guys said and ran on you paying off my college debt? Is that kind of the same thing? That invisible thing that never happened? And let me tell you, people, I have college debt. Guess what didn't get paid off? When Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were running for office. Oh, my college debt's still there and growing with interest. You dumbasses. Getting fired up. It's all a lie. It's a scam. It's the blanket being pulled over your head and you being strangled to death and telling you that you're going down a Disney ride. It's not there. You're getting choked out. We're dying. So if you want to believe Kamala Harris when she goes up, reads off a teleprompter, changes her accent 20 times in a week based on what arena she's in and what state and what population she's speaking to, it's just all fake. It's all fake. How about this one? Kamala Harris said that she worked at McDonald's. I had a middle class job. I worked at McDonald's. What did Donald Trump say? He said, no, you didn't. He's like, I know the owners of McDonald's. They had no record of you. They've never seen you before on their payroll, okay? Then, guess what Kamala Harris gave? She gave a photo of herself in a McDonald's uniform when she was very young. Who do you think fact checked that? Huh? And all these liberals, here comes the big blue wave, right? All these cult MAGA supporters can shut up. Just seen it today. Do you know what that photo actually was? The real woman that picture was taken of said, that is 1,000% me when I was a little girl. Kamala Harris got busted for her team photoshopping her face onto some random girl that took a picture of McDonald's uniform in the 80s. Where's that? Is that broadcasted on CNN, MSNBC, ABC? No, it's not. Because we have a one-sided, weaponized political party. It's got to go. Or they're going to get us going.
Well, some people think the deep state actually secretly controlled the government. Do you believe in that?
1,000%. 1,000,000%. And it's so clear. It's so clear. Donald Trump. Anybody ever heard of Alphonse Capone? Alphonse Capone? The mob boss? Right? Trump got more indictments in a year than Alphonse Capone, the mafia boss, had in his whole day of life. Hey, maybe I'm wrong. Right? Maybe you folks need to go watch The Matrix. Okay? Watch Neo jump out of the timescape, and then he woke up, he said, whoa, where am I? Take the red pill, take the blue pill, take the red pill. Take the red pill. Right? Undo yourself from the indoctrination that came from the education system. 90% of teachers, by the way, something close to 90%, are liberals in our educational system, by the way. Teachers. Get what I'm saying? So not only are majority of your teachers teaching your kids liberal, right? Colleges even worse. Then you get, so that you wonder why majority of college kids are coming out liberal. I mean, talking about deep state controlling the government, talking about big tech in the eyes of, controlling what we think and do and say and want to eat. Come on here, guys. Once you figure this information out for yourself, you might not wake up now. That's fine. It is what it is. But there's going to be a point you wake up. The mandating of the vaccine was it for me. I was like, whoa, bro. That's when I got into politics. That's when I researched all this information, figured it out for myself, got down in the nitty gritty. Let me tell you, if you do not become conscious what's going on around you for 2 seconds, get off the video games, relax on the junk food, right? I mean, our food's tainted. Our water has fluoride in it, making us dumber. We're taking government mandated vaccines that the autism rates are spiking through the roof. People, we have an unelected candidate and Kamala Harris running for president. Nobody elected her. They just gave it to her. Every Democrat stepped down unanimously. I'm fired up. All across the board, the Democrats gave up the candidate spot to Kamala Harris. Okay? If you think that is for a second how American democracy works, you're sadly and sorely mistaken, my friend. And this is the problem that we have as a people. That's why we're divided. Because we don't understand how shit's supposed to go down.
Two words that actually Donald Trump used was fake news. Some people think the government spreads fake news to keep people scared. I mean, do you think that's a true statement?
Absolutely. It's government propaganda. Barack Obama actually, there was like a bill in Barack Obama administration because, I don't know if you remember this, Matthew, but we never used to see the amount of bullshit and lies. Like, okay, say George Bush and even, okay, I remember this. Mitt Romney and Barack Obama were going toe-to-toe, head-to-head in the 2008 or whatever year it was election, right? And Barack ultimately won that, right? But there was no, Donald Trump wants to not allow women to, he'll arrest you if you get an abortion in this state. Donald Trump will arrest you. That is defamation of character. Beyond belief. Beyond belief, that's defamation of character. Barack Obama had a bill signed right before he left office, right before Trump took office, right? Which was a bill that went into the intricacies of not propagandizing your own people. We used to have laws against spewing propaganda to your own people. Barack Obama got rid of that. Passed a bill. Boom. All of a sudden, Trump is being compared to Hitler. How the hell did we get here? So yes, absolutely, fake news is propaganda. Propaganda is the root of dictatorships. And you fear and divide your people so much until one side gets conquered, and then you have a full dictatorship, and then America is not America anymore. And that's where we're headed, folks. And it's a hot, steaming, piping hot train headed right into the dungeon.
Let's dive a little bit deeper. Do you believe that there's a plan for new world order where like few people rule the world?
Yeah, you're hitting so many great topics today. I don't know if people are ready for this. Guys, I have the information. Just look these names up. Look Klaus Schwab up. Look at the Rothschilds. Look at Vanguard. Look at BlackRock. Please. Klaus Schwab, his father was the third ranking Nazi in the Second Reich. Are you nuts? These people, the World Health Organization, okay, Klaus Schwab honestly did just step down, right? But this is all play. He's got health complications. His daughter just stepped into it, okay? Klaus Schwab, right? Hitler's evil demon baby, devil love child of Hitler. Do you understand? Klaus Schwab, the New World Order, we're talking about the New World Order here, guys. Klaus Schwab said, you will eat the bugs and be happy. Matthew, I don't know who your granddaddy was, right? Or your granddaddy's daddy. But I'm pretty sure the people who fought and died in World War II didn't fight and die for us to be eating cricket shit bugs by Nazi Germans. Actually, and we're not talking about Trump as a Nazi. I'm talking about third-ranking father of the World Health Organization's leader, Klaus Schwab. I don't think they died for that, guys. We might have to have like a separate New World Order decompartmentalization of World Health Org, World Economic Forum. Oh my, you guys are so fucked. You guys are done, man. Yeah, you people don't know what this means. I mean, hopefully you got a cabin somewhere and you can hide out and you know how to hunt and fish and survive and create fires, because you're gonna be up Shit's Creek when those blue helmets come knocking on your door. And by blue helmets, I mean the UN. Okay, which have already said UN's already ready to go in taking our weapons away, by the way. Just so you're aware of that, Matthew. I didn't know if you knew that. They're ready to come on. Okay? But they don't know what kind of hillbillies we got in America. Go ahead and knock on doors in Florida. I double dog dare you. Oh my. It's gonna be, listen guys, it's gonna be one hell of a ride these next, I would even go to say 2 months. You're going to see stuff that you've never seen in your life happen in these next 2 months. And it's just going to be, I mean, get the popcorn out and your MRE food packages for nuclear fallout. Okay? Because that's right where Joe Biden and Kamala have us in, is World War III. We didn't even touch on that today.
Yeah, I mean, when Trump was in office, we didn't have any wars, and
No
now we're in
wars.
a whole, yeah, there's a whole bunch of them around the world.
A whole bunch of them around the world that the U.S. is directly funding, both sides. Talking about Iran, Israel, Hezbollah, Gaza, Palestine, all that. What do you think Hezbollah and Iran, get the money? We're paying out the Taliban. We're paying Iran. We give Israel missiles to shoot Iran. We give money or missiles to wherever to shoot at Israel. And if we don't sell them directly to them, we sell them to a different country that sells them right to them. So what the hell's the point? People, it's all a game. They want you fired up. They want you supporting Gaza at your local college and burning the American flag. Why? Shouting death to America. Are you stupid? Come on. It is the easiest. Read some books. Divide and Conquer. Divide and Conquer. Napoleon, I mean, what world leader, dictator, do you want to go back on that didn't divide and conquer? Guys, we're being divided and we're being conquered. We've had the largest full-scale invasion of any country in the history of planet Earth happen in America. That doesn't happen. That's culture changing. That is generational change. You're talking about a shitstorm you don't even want to be involved with. You're telling me you just let 20 million people in here and you expect them to get paid, first of all, paid monthly on US taxpayer money? First of all, you don't think that's going to cause some uproar? I don't know what to, like, Matthew, how would you go about telling somebody sweetly, softly, and gently that they're being taken over and they will be nothing and most likely be in a large scale war, not by their own choice, here very directly? How would you put that down like a little moth landing on a candle wick, if you will?
Put it gently. I mean, a lot of the politicians, Hollywood, and powerful people in this country, their political ideas on the public have been manipulated in many ways. They push little narratives on top of you to force you in a certain direction.
Yeah. And how do you think we go about changing that, would you say?
You have to get right people in office, and the Constitution we have to follow. And those founding fathers that so many years ago created the most greatest country on earth has ever been, United States of America, did something so remarkable with so much thought behind it. And we can't let this country fall down and become China, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, we're in, like, this is like, okay, so you know how, like, the story builds and builds and builds, and you get to the climax, right? The very tip. What do you call the tip? It's not the climax, but it's like
The peak.
the peak. We're at the peak of this story, right? Now, whether we get to the peak and it levels out, and levels out, and we're okay, and it all goes back to normal, hopefully. Maybe not totally, but somewhat. Or get to the peak and we fall, break every bone in our body, and our our lung cavities collapse at the bottom of the other side of the mountain if Kamala Harris gets back. I mean, let's be for real.
Let's be for real on it. I mean, we're helping the rich versus helping the poor. I mean, there's so many sides between that, but I mean, the middle class is the one that's getting hit the most in this all these policies. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, during COVID, all the money that was given to us went right back to the rich. So we have to
Yeah,
think about what we do and how we spend our money at the
and
end of
that's
the
another
day.
thing too. It's like, a lot of people are like, oh, well, here's a really big ad, right? They say, oh, Trump just wants to give tax breaks to billionaires. Guys, I get it. They don't teach us anything about economics in school. They don't teach us why we're so mad about the stuff we're mad about right now is because a lot of anger and frustration actually comes from ignorance and not understanding something, right? So when you give tax breaks to the major companies you work for, like Chipotle, the same place you guys want $25 an hour to make a burrito at, okay? When those guys get taxed and like Kamala says, pay their fair share, what do you think the wages look like? Because not only so that you want to get taxed less, paid more, and you want the rich to be taxed more and paid less. So, okay, that ain't how capitalism works. First of all, not how it works. If the big guy who owns the company gets less money, guess who else gets less money? The worker. Amazon workers. You think, I mean, hey, listen, I'm all for people making money and being happy and having a great life. Don't get me wrong. But there's levels to this shit, okay? You can't just go and say, Mr. Bezos, you're going to start paying 70% of your whole net worth, right? You guys will be making pennies. You think inflation's bad now? Well, come on, look at it and tax the rich. See how that works? Because what happens when the rich get taxed? They go and move to countries and gain citizenship in countries that they don't get taxed in like that, right? And what happens to those countries? Those countries boom, right? Our country suffers. That's why Trump wants to put gigantic 2,000% tariffs on American brand companies threatening to go to Mexico because it's cheaper, right? Mala sounds great. It really does. It sounds like the sweetest dream. It's like your grandmother just made you a fresh baked cookie, best cookie you ever had. It does. But you have to understand that she's a witch putting a spell on you. I mean, for real, Matthew, I mean, it's very close. It's an illusion, right? They didn't give you the tools to be able to see through that illusion. I had to research this myself. I had to make myself snap out of it, right? Whether it was gut instinct, I don't know, right? I am related to Braveheart, by the way. Do you know? Did you know that? Fun fact: that movie Braveheart.
I
Look
did
that
not know that.
William
That's great.
Wallace. I know. Yeah. But anyways, it could have been instinct. Why I woke up out of this daze and confusion and not caring about politics, but I looked all this stuff up. I figured out where we came from, guys. Okay. Now, while we're all worried about giving reparations to black people, the government is sucking us dry, and we're fighting over pennies with each other. Stop it. I mean, just take a deep breath. Look at everything you can look at leading up to this election. Please do some research and please make an informed decision on why. Why would you ever vote for Kamala? It doesn't make any sense if you're informed properly.
Yeah, the big question is why. I mean, why do people say Republicans' ideas mostly help the top 1%, though?
That is such a deep shit involved question. Okay, we got to remember that both political parties have the snakes in the grass, right? Both political parties, right? Like, okay, you'll hear the Democrats saying, "Well, we had a bill, but the Republicans in the House didn't let it pass." Okay. What the Democrats aren't telling you is that within that same bill, they conglomerated it with a couple here and other, and a foreign aid package, and this and that, and fucking lobsters running on treadmills for $10 million research. Right? It's all this shit they pack into one bill, and then the thing Republicans are caring about, which is the border policy, right? In that bill, or no, it was what was it? There was an immigration one, but anyways, so then they say, "Oh, the Republicans didn't let it pass." Well, no. They couldn't let it pass. They couldn't because it's so lucrative. It's insane what they're packaging these bills with. It's not just cut deal one and done dry, hey, we come in for 10 minutes, we all voted on it, hey, nay. That's not how it works. You're voting on a package deal. The wool is being pulled over everybody's eyes so bad, and nobody gets it. They just see the quick, YouTube shorts, right? They see that 10-second thing, they say, oh, they form their opinion based on that clip they saw from a corrupted news network, and then voila, you have a diehard liberal that will die for Kamala Harris without knowing a single one of her policies. That's exactly how it happens.
I mean, what policies that Trump, what policies do you believe that he had the most positive impact and why?
I should look up. Honestly, that's what I'm going to do right now because there's stuff people need to know right now. And did that just shut my camera off?
No, you're still up.
And this is like another thing, and I'm still working on it. Like, don't for a second think I'm perfect and I have all the political knowledge and I know this and that. Listen, I've done good research. I have a pretty informed, I would say, opinion on these. Do I know the exact tax bill and all these other bills and what they're exactly called? No, I don't. Here's some things that Trump did. Tax relief for the middle class. Passed $3.2 trillion in historic tax relief and reformed the tax code. Trump. This is for Trump. Signed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, the largest tax reform package in history. What that kind of did, more than 6 million American workers received wage increases, bonuses, and increased benefits thanks to this reform. A typical family of four earning $75,000 received an income tax cut of more than $2,000, slashing their tax bill in half. Created nearly 9,000 opportunity zones where capital gains on long-term investments are taxed at zero. That's gigantic. We were talking about unrealized capital gains. Capital gains and unrealized capital gains are two different things, so don't get that mixed up. But you get the ballpark we're kind of practicing in here.
Yeah, dive deep. Do your research if you're looking that stuff up.
Absolutely, and you can do this. You have to understand how to figure out and cut through the bullshit, what's not bullshit, what's kind of true, what's not. Guys, there's so much crap flying around. I mean, I'm covered in it. I'm covered in it. Head to tippy toe, smudged up with it. Let's see.
Can I ask you
Here.
this one?
Okay, go ahead.
Back in 2016, do you think the United States military reached out to him to ask him to run and fix this country?
I don't really remember hearing about that. I know. I mean, I could assume so. I really can't comment on that if the military reached out to Trump or not. I mean, maybe, maybe not. I mean, no one really knew that Trump even was going to run before he started running. You know what I mean? He just seen how bad of a situation we were coming out of with Barack Obama. I mean, guys, ask your parents about the housing market crash of '07, '08. I mean, really. Thank Obama. This is not hard to do here. All this corruption. Did you know Obama is directly related to the Bushes? Did anybody tell you guys that?
In what way?
Dude, it's something crazy, dude. Every president except for Donald Trump and one other guy is related. Matt, think about that. Think about that. All the way back to George Washington. Okay? Every president except Donald Trump and I think one other president in all of history has blood relation.
I never thought of it that way, to tell you the truth.
Son! Are you getting what I'm laying down? And that's not even a conspiracy. That you can look that up 2 seconds.
Well,
2 seconds.
if people have like trust issues with Donald Trump, I mean, why should people trust Trump?
You shouldn't trust him, but you should listen to what he has to say and understand and build the trust based off of that. That's what people just are. The Republican side says, "Oh, you just need to trust me. You just need to trust me." No, no. Do your research and build your own goddamn trust, right? I couldn't. I wouldn't even touch Kamala. That's how much I don't trust her. She probably got poison on a patch and shakes my hand and I die. You understand? That's how much I don't trust Kamala.
Yeah, but I
I
mean,
would say, what? Go ahead.
well, I mean, how do you feel when people say Trump hurts democracy?
Hmm. He's a threat to democracy. He's gonna kill your whole entire bloodline. Dude. I'd like to know when people say that. I want to know. Okay, what evidence do you have that he's a threat to democracy? What have you seen that I've not seen that he's a threat to democracy? Right? When his values are build a beautiful family, have more kids, right? Let's keep the American people safe first, rather than letting illegals invade us. Uh, Threat to democracy. They keep saying Trump's going to be dictator on day one. They keep throwing this around: dictator, dictator, Hitler, Hitler, dictator. Okay, if Trump was a dictator, people, trust me on this. Okay, dictators do not step out of power of an office, especially the presidential office, if that's what his game plan was. You don't think Trump would have just said martial law, took over the White House, and then, threw a coup, and a coup is basically killing the opposition of power? Okay, guys? That's not being a threat to democracy. That is abiding by the Constitution and the law of the land. Okay, that's what Trump did, right? He said go out and peacefully protest, which is legal. Everybody does it. But all of a sudden, January 6th, everybody knows about January 6th because the Democrats couldn't get it off their brainstem. Okay, January 6th was a proven federal operation put on by the Liberal Democrat Party that incited a riot at the Capitol. I hope we understand that. Don't just think that was MAGA Republicans going to break down the Capitol. You had Antifa there. You had undercover federal operators, FBI, CIA, three-letter organization operators in that same crowd inciting riots. I don't know if you've ever been in a riot, okay? But kind of the main feng shui of a riot is that a group of people come together as a unit to form a protest over something they believe, okay? And then when you have 500 people in a crowd of 100,000, 200,000, 400, whatever the number was, right? And you got them riling a bunch of hot-blooded, red-blooded patriot Americans up. Okay, yeah, no shit, it's going to go down. Guys, we're not playing checkers anymore. This is This is a 5D chess game with your eyes closed, and you're like facing a fifth dimensional being. This is so beyond every one of our pay grades, but we can't let it be anymore, right? We got to step up. We got to stand up. We got to do the research. We got to figure out, okay, why am I a middle class person rather than an elite upper tier, upper echelon, if you will? What separates me from them? What knowledge do they know that I don't have? It's very simple. It's very simple. But yeah, you want to get angry over a holy war in a desert you've never been to, you'll never see, and you don't even agree with the laws of those same people. Okay? But you want to burn the American flag over it? Guys, fuck. We got to get it in check, man. Man, I don't know what you think, but we might be cooked. Might be done like dinner. Thanksgiving turkey.
Can I ask you this one? I mean, why do Republicans want a smaller government?
First of all, we should have a smaller government. Okay, let that be known. Government is not your friend. Government was never supposed to be your friend. Government was supposed to always be small. Actually, the forefathers set up 3 different branches: executive, legislative, and judicial, right? Executive, president, legislative, that's a Congress, House, and then judicial is like the Supreme Court and all that. Might have a couple things wrong in there, but that's like the main focal point right there, okay? Is because no one branch of government would get too strong without the others holding it in check. You get what I'm saying? So it was our constitutional. First of all, America is not a democracy, okay? That's a big time myth that a lot of people have wrong. America is not a democracy. Do not say that. We are a constitutional republic, okay? We vote on things. Democratic in nature, yes, not a democracy. All democracies fail, okay? But we keep saying it, democracy this, democracy that. Oh, we have democracy. No, we don't. Quit it. Government should be small so that we may live our lives in peace and harmony and have the right to, life, liberty, and justice, okay? That's what it was supposed to be. But now, because government has gotten too big, now you're paying 40% of that cash that you're bringing home. Okay? Get what I'm saying? You want a small government so they don't succulate all your funds and then go like this, like a big old worldwide money machine, and spit it out all over the Ukrainian people. And give Zelensky $200 million yacht? I don't know if you've seen his boat or not. And he just bought some old king's house. Zelensky did. Little Ukrainian boy who played the piano with his piano because he used to be a comedian. You ever see that video?
No.
We're so cooked, Matt. We're so cooked. Zelensky, president of Ukraine, used to be a comedian, whipping his tallywhacker out on the piano. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Oh my, it's just such a joke. It is such a joke. Speaking of Ukraine, we didn't even, Joe Biden fired the lead prosecutor that was going to be looking into the Ukrainian corruption between Joe Biden and Ukraine. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah. Joe Biden said, no more aid. Either fire this guy who's looking into me or no more aid. That guy got fired pretty quick. Yeah. It's dark, bro. It's sinister and it's stinky. It smells like shit.
No, it's a great takeaway. I'm just baffled by that response there about Ukraine.
Dude, I'm telling you, look it up. I gotta put it on. Look at that glow, baby. I don't know, folks. I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say anymore. It's like we're at the 11th hour, right? The 59th minute and the 59th second, okay? Before absolute shitstorm hits. Full force, okay? This is more like a obituary, if you will. I mean, we're done. No, hey, folks, forget the podcast. It's over, baby. You guys already screwed the pooch. You didn't know what you were doing, right? It's too late. Now you're going to look back on this when you're in your internment camp getting fucking racted, by the liberal Democratic Party. You think I'm surviving this? Oh, you gotta be nuts. They're coming for Donald Trump. Understand? He says, what did he say? He goes, if they come through me, they'll get to you, but I just happen to be in the way. This guy's getting shot for us, folks, right? There's been multiple attempts on his life. Guys, wake up. I don't even know what to tell you to do. Cross your fingers and clench your cheeks. Make sure your oral hygiene is good. I mean, infection is the leading cause of death in a survival scenario. I mean, folks, we're done.
Well, what can the common American do in the next couple of weeks to get their point of view across? I mean, with the country that's so divided.
You better vote Trump. You better vote Trump. And if that doesn't work, right, because you already, boom-boomed your diaper, right, you need to learn survival techniques. Learn how to create a fire, okay? When that EMP goes off and knocks out our whole eastern seaboard electricity, okay, it's going to be really cold this winter, okay? People are going to be looting, riding, stealing, or have a bow, something to kill animals with, right? Get food, get meat, have a fishing pole. I don't know. Stock up on spices while you still can. Chewing gum, make sure you got your duct tape rolls. We're done. See ya. I don't know what you know what? Here you go. Vote Kamala this election year. Vote Kamala, right? Because that'll actually be funny to me. Because all you liberals are gonna freak the fuck out, dude. Let me tell you something. Oh my. I can survive. I can run a trout line, I'll be all right. You liberal sissy city boys that barely know how to tie your own shoelaces, right? Maybe you got the Velcro strap shoes. I don't know. You could get hit like a Mack truck on an expressway.
Well, why should people trust Trump, given all his legal problems?
Wonder how many lawsuits Apple goes through a year. You ever think about that? But we still sign that terms of service without reading it, don't we? All of our data. You trust Apple mighty fine, don't you? Every year when you get a new Apple iPhone, even though they sell your data, they listen in to what you have to say so they can give you a quote unquote better ad experience, more favorable to your own personalized, unique likings. You people need a grip on reality and what the hell's going on. These people are studying you. They're getting to know you better than you know yourself. They know what time of day you're going to look a certain thing up. I could assume. And then AI? You're done. Chipotle worker, Target worker, shelf stocker, you're done. What's Donald Trump want? He wants more Americans to have better jobs, better living, better health, better lifestyle. He brought a famous name in by the name of RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Kennedy's notorious for being assassinated by our own government. Let's just say it how it is. Wants to make America healthy again by taking the dyes and the toxic chemicals that are banned in other countries out of our food supply. Seems like that's kind of where I'd put my all in, my last gamble, if you will. Because let me tell you, folks, this is the last gamble. Now you can either go teleprompter, cackling Kamala, communist Kamala, or you can go with the real Don. Go with the real deal. Just say, you know what? Screw all the bullshit. Yeah, this guy says some whacked out stuff sometimes, but you know what? He consistently shows you that he is willing to put his body, his life, his family on the line for you. He gets shot and stands back up and tells you to fight for yourselves, not for him. He's fighting for you. This guy could have been kicked up on Bora Bora until he died. Okay? He didn't need to do this, but he did it anyways. Folks, he's all we got, man. A couple good Republicans in the Congress and the House. That's about it. Trump is all we got left. There's nobody coming. Kamala wins this election. Be lucky if this ain't the last election. There ain't nobody coming except the enemy from that point on. Whether you realize it or not, or whether one day you're ass up in some kind of camp recorrecting your behavior, right? Because you used too much gasoline one week. Yeah, dude. Look up communist China. Look up dictatorship, actual dictatorships, right? Because obviously you didn't go to a social studies class in middle school, high school, right? You didn't look at U.S. history. So, I don't know. We fought and died plenty of wars. Probably not all, great wars to be in. But the men fighting in them sure did believe that they were fighting in something for the sake of humanity. And that's what a vote for Donald Trump means right now. That's a vote for the sake of humanity against the biggest evil that the world may possibly ever see.
Great takeaway. I'm sure I'm definitely something to think about. Yeah, I mean the future with Kamala Harris or a future with Donald Trump, the future has not been written. It is in the future, and this is Every Day is Friday. Zane, you got any last words for the guests?
Yeah. Vote Don. If this is the last time we get to have this conversation, great to see you. Thanks for listening, and whether we come out of it on top or not, every day is still going to be Friday, and store's still going to be up on Etsy. So go
That's
shop.
true.
Go
I
have fun.
mean, we have great merchandise, and go chase your dreams because your dreams will not chase you. I'm Maddie B43. That's Zane, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Tune in every week, and we'll talk to you because every day is Friday.
Every day is Friday. Thank you, Matt.